there are certain things you just shouldn't do. Not because it's dangerous or you could get hurt, just because it's stupid. Okay, we're going to discuss one of those stupid things today. Now, AMD last year, some may be familiar, some may not. Last year, the year before, something like that, they took their 6,000 video card, their stack of all the 6,000 series video cards, GPUs, all the way down to the RX 6500 and 6400. 6400 has a lot of advantages, don't get me wrong. It is a low profile, doesn't take any external power, fits great in a small form factor. It is perfect for that. And if you don't have a very high power system, or it's a budget system of some type, it does okay. It does have some limitations. It does not have any kind of video encoder. So that means that if you're trying to stream or anything like that, this card's not going to do it. If you're trying to do anything like video processing, it's just not going to happen. It does, however, have ray tracing. I don't know why, okay? But this falls under the category of, okay, it's got it, so let's try it. And our subject today, yep, Cyberpunk 2077 with an RX 6400 ray tracing. We're going to do it without any benefit of FSR and with, and we're going to see what the difference is. Okay, now give you a little bit of background on stupid. Growing up in my house, my parents had two slightly different styles of parenting, or making sure that we did not do anything that would harm us or something like that. Now, when it came to harm, both parents looked after us, but my mom was more of, well, if your friend told you to jump off of a bridge, would you do it? And my dad was more like, all right, let's see what you got, kind of thing. So he would not let us do anything dangerous, but I mean, if it was something like your eyebrows that could grow back, you could usually tell it was going to be stupid if you looked around and Dad was trying to get a seat to see just what the results were going to be of your action. That was usually a pretty good indicator you weren't up to anything very, very smart. It goes back to this video card, because just because we can do it doesn't mean we should. Now, I don't have to worry about burning off eyebrows or anything like that, or breaking an arm or losing a limb or anything. But there are some things that, first of all, this video card just not that strong, even though it is on a PCIe 4 this time around, because we're using it with an 11th gen Intel. But the numbers for that aren't very strong at all. So trying to use ray tracing doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But the card can do it. So we're going to try it. We are doing this at two different resolutions. We're going to go ahead and do this at 1440p, and we're going to do this at 1080p. And although you can probably already guess what the results are going to be from this action, we're going to go ahead and lay it out anyway. There is a brighter spot to this, because when we do add the Fidelity FX, the super resolution from AMD, the process on basically any video card made in the past 5 years, especially their AMD cards, when we do add that into Cyberpunk and try to run it like that, we end up getting frame rates that are, on the average, about twice as good as just trying to run ray tracing by itself. But we're also going to show you why that's not necessarily a good thing. Okay, so to go ahead and do the test, what I did is I went ahead and just ran it on the default setting, 1440p, high, medium, and low, 1080p, high, medium, and low. I did more tests than that, but that's what I'm recording here. So we take a look at those, and we see that we can play it at, say, 1440 low, but to have the best results with this 6400, we're better off playing at 1080p on either medium or low. Low, we can get near 56 frames per second, which isn't great, but it's not horrible. And it's, medium or low here is playable, and it's all right. And if you want to play with the FSR a little bit, and maybe put that at maybe a little bit higher setting or something, it defaults to auto in most cases. Now, if you're using higher ultra, I think it defaults to something else, but maybe balanced or something. I don't remember. But if you're on the lower settings, it defaults to auto for the FSR, so it'll kind of pick whatever's best. So 1080p, medium or low, isn't going to be too bad. It's playable, but then some things about the ray tracing. Now, first of all, I will tell you that the results we got for the ray tracing, abysmal, we know that, but in almost every single case, when we turned on the FSR to balance that out, we got, in most cases, more than as much or more than twice the number of frames as we did with ray tracing. But as you're going to see here, that was still pretty abysmal. So yeah, showing you this, we maxed out 1080p low at a whopping 12 frames per second, and we were lucky to get, during ray tracing by itself on 1440 high, a real, I mean, we came in right at 2 frames per second. And it was actually just slightly below. I rounded up, and for medium, it was slightly above, and I rounded down. I rounded to the next nearest half of a frame per second just to kind of get some kind of, without them looking, the same, 2 going to 3 or whatever. But in any case, we did as well as like 5 frames per second with ray tracing on. It's just simply not playable. And even when we account for that and we put on FSR to go ahead and try to make up some of that, it's still abysmal and it's horrible. And there's no reason that anybody should try doing this. Is this a good trade-off for not having an encoder on this card and putting ray tracing on it instead? No. There's just some things, there's just some things you shouldn't do. You shouldn't put ketchup on a hot dog unless you're 8 years old or younger. You shouldn't start a fight in a Waffle House, and you shouldn't use ray tracing on this card. It's just, there's no rhyme, no reason, no excuse, don't, okay? Just save yourself the trouble. I mean, I have been known for a couple of ill-advised experiments here and there, and this is one I did on you guys' behalf. So yeah, as far as ray tracing on, and I would imagine on the 6500 it's probably just as bad, but I wouldn't try ray tracing on the lower end AMD 6000 series at all, 6500 or 6400. And in this case, obviously you can see the results. Now, Cyberpunk is really tough. When ray tracing is turned on, it's really tough on all graphics cards. But yeah, there's just no reason this card should have ray tracing on it at all. I mean, it makes no sense at all. And AMD, I don't know, maybe it was cheaper to do that than it was to put an encoder. I don't know, but yeah, they probably would have been really good just leaving it off. just not even putting it on it at all. It must have been cheaper to leave it on than to leave it off or disable it. I have no idea. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of go through this. It was an exercise in futility, yes, but I wanted to try it because I was curious more than anything. And I was already testing and doing some stuff with that 6-core Intel. It's a 11400F that's in there. I was doing some testing with it, so I figured, why not? And the reason why I did that, the reason why I did a 6-core 12-thread is not because I wanted to try the biggest and baddest to see the best possible results I could get. It's just because that's an average gaming PC. 6-core 12-thread, there's a lot of them out there that are gaming PCs, and this is, if you're playing a game and you turn ray tracing and FSR on, you're hoping to get decent results, and ain't gonna happen with this one, sorry. Nope, not a chance. Anyway, that is it for this experiment. I got other stuff going on. My editing rig needs a 3060 Ti in it instead of the RTX 2070 that it currently has, so we'll be doing that soon. I still might be testing somebody's laptop before too long with a 12700H in it, I believe. We'll have to see how that goes. In any case, I apologize for not posting this past weekend. I was sick the week before, and it threw everything off, and I just didn't have stuff prepared. So we're back in it again. I'll be doing 2 videos a week, hopefully, and we'll see where that leads. But in any case, don't try ray tracing on an RS 6400, and I probably wouldn't recommend it on the 6500 either. Just saying. That is all I have for this time. I'm going to ask you to do one other thing besides hit me up on all the other socials and liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. The extra thing I'm going to ask is the same thing I ask you every time. Just be nice to each other, okay? Do something nice. Hold the door open, smile, wave. You guys all know the drill by now. Just tell somebody good morning. I mean, you really sometimes have no idea what effect you might have on somebody's day. So, until the next time, folks, when I find something else to get into or some ill-advised experiment to try, I'll see you later.